can you talk about more inspirations for the narrative? I mean, it is a space opera, so like Firefly, Star Trek, Next Generation, anything like that, Babylon 5 that you guys pulled from.
Don't we always pull from Firefly in everything we do?
Good show. There's a reason the show's good. I mean, people like crews and characters, right? That's the whole point.
Yeah.
I remember hearing a lot about Firewatch in the beginning.
Yeah, Firewatch definitely was an inspiration more of how to that constant dialogue going on. Although not as player driven as Firewatch, it wasn't that type of game because like Firewatch doesn't really have mechanics outside of the conversation and walking. It's just that's like the classic walking simulator thing, but they have this like extremely good mechanic for the radio talk, which I brought up as inspiration a lot of times, but we couldn't really go that far because that would have been all we could have focused on if we wanted to do that sort of game.
Right, it's a balancing act. Like there's games like the Man of Medan, like those games that are like entirely narrative. They're all quick time events. They're telling a story. Then there's games like Fortnite. They technically do have a narrative, but it's not the central focus. And it sounds like you want to like meet in the middle somewhere and have both.
Yeah. And also something we explored early was like the sort of Bloodborne thing where you just you get a lot of the story through the environment. So we have this scanning mechanic where you can scan the plants, and I tried to get as much like backstory and world building as I could into that, just to leave it optional for the ones who want to do it. And I sort of forget to scan stuff when I play the game myself, and it's just that like the later playthroughs now that we've tested the game for release, I've been scanning everything and just really liking it, and sort of, oh yeah, I wrote that. Oh, that was cool. And I had this like with Tobias, our art director. We sat down for like half a day and just discussed how the ecosystem of the planet worked. Just what is the gunk? How does it relate to the ecosystem of the planet? Where does it come from? How do we get rid of it? And we came up with this like sort of elaborate ecosystem where the plants of this planet get their energy from the core of the planet. The core of the planet is an energy generating core, and they don't really get their main energy source from the sun, which is it's very fantasy like, not very sci-fi really. But then they turn this energy and use this energy, and animals can feed on the plants and get their energy from that, and all of the ecosystem is based on energy coming from the core of the planet. And what has happened is
don't spoil anything. Make sure you don't spoil anything.
It's been corrupted, and it results in the gunk. So gunk is sort of one part of the energy coming from the core. It's like the physical part, while the energy is like the more the soul of the planet, and like so that's all that's left from the energy when it's been corrupted, and it's trying to just get as much energy back as possible, this gunk. So it's sucking energy from everything it can to get like to reach equilibrium again. So we sat like it was a lot of poop references during that conversation, and I've tried to put as much of that into just the scans of the plants as I could, without making it too overbearing.
It's really fun to see like when you're making a universe from nothing. That's got to be fun for you guys to make up this lore, because usually, especially now, when there's so much intellectual property that you have to look back at the history of it, see what it is, see what you can or can't do, or are limited what you can do. But when you're building your own unique IP, you are the soothsayers, you are the creators of your own realm. Whatever you say goes, and that's the lore, and that's what it is, and it's official. Like, is it funner to do stuff like that than when you're working with intellectual property or other people's property in any project? It doesn't have to be games.
It's a little bit both. I've mainly worked on our project like SteamWorld and now Gunk, and so mainly I've been part of building like worlds like that. And it's just like I said before, it's a lot about making sense of the design, trying to make it logical in some way. and make it like a cohesive experience. But it's also it is a challenge. Of course, I mean, the Gunk was a huge challenge for us. It's our first 3D game. It's a completely new world we're trying to build, new characters. We don't really have anything to base it off. So yeah, it was a lot of first for us. And I also, besides like doing the narrative direction, I've also done a lot of tech art for the game, because I started here as a 3D artist. So I was the one with most 3D experience as an artist on the game too. So I had to be involved with doing like the 3D pipeline as well as the narrative, which was a bit of a challenge at the start of this production too. A lot of fun, like just being there, affecting everything.
I think it's very, when doing something from nothing, you have both the freedom of I can do whatever the hell I want, but also the fear of, oh no, I can do whatever the hell I want. And there's nobody backing me. I have no safety net to lean back on an already established good thing. You it's your fault if it's bad because you made it so.
I think a lot of the time it's good to try that on your colleagues, at least when you have ideas. Just pitch it to your colleagues and see their reaction, and then you take it from there. Don't be too precious about something you thought was really good. If people don't react to it good, you need to change it. And we have a good relationship there where we can just we're pretty much in sync in most stuff. I think if I write something, I know that you'll get the right view of it, and I get like great feedback right from the start from Oliver.
And with Jessica as well.
And with Jessica as well.
The three of us have a dynamic.
Yeah. And of course, the pandemic time, so we did a lot of it through just voice chat and a Google Doc handling the script.
So, Oliver, without giving anything away, could this world possibly exist in the same universe as SteamWorld? Speaking of connected universes,
who knows? Anything's possible.
Anything is possible. It could be like any minute now. It could be. Just it's up to your decisions. That's what it is.
If one day it ends up being a SteamWorld game, then we'll credit you as an instigator.
So one of the things I do also want to talk about is a lot of the times in these space operas, the ship also is a character onto itself, and your ship is called the Bunny. Talk a little about this ship.
Yeah, it was basically we tried a lot of designs on this ship from the start. A lot of like just pen sketches, and we had a Slack thread about the name of the ship for quite a while before we settled on Bunny. I think it was Sam Maggs who was attached as writer early on in the game, and then she just consulted for us for a little bit. But I think it was her that came up with like the bunny, or a version of it. I think she tried like a Japanese word for bunny, and then the working name for the Gunk was Dust at one time. So I sort of those ideas merged into the Dust Bunny. And I also think that Rani had her glove, which also has a name like anthropomorphized technology, which I do myself sort of. I like tech, and
you like tech a lot.
Yes, I like tech a lot. And so Rani had her glove, Pumpkin, and Bex needed something too to care about, except like outside of their relationship, something that could be in conflict with the relationship too. And then of course Kurt, which is important to both of them. I scan Kurt. You should always scan Kurt and scan Bex. Yeah, I love the Bex scan text.
It's funny because I can see that in the design. There's a lot of like industrial, like practical things. Like when you go science fiction, you can really go balls to the wall. But there's some people who have an eye for engineering will know that the glove has like a handle on it, and it has a power source like next to her back, as long as a data source that feeds the hydraulics. Like it could have just been a magic glove with a gem, but you would take the extra step, to make it look scientific and realistic.
Yeah, and that also goes into like the descriptions of the upgrades and stuff like that. I sat a day or so about with that, just trying to figure out, what is this? It's like a mini black hole in her glove, making it absorb stuff, and just googling tech words to try to make it sound this is what it is.
We often joke at work about things being too unreal
Yeah.
They have to be. They can't be unreal. They need to be
Yeah.
somewhat believable.
They have to look like they
yeah.
exist in the universe, right? They have to
Yeah.
look, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, always that suspension of disbelief needs to be maintained. And that was an early idea. I think when the game like more solidified into being the Gunk, we discussed that a lot, especially with our art director, just getting this like sort of 80s vibes. Another inspiration like is Guardians of the Galaxy. Having like we had a version of the bunny, the glove, the power glove with a cassette deck on it that we wanted her to play music on. Just getting a sort of 80s vibe, and that also frees us up, I think, a bit on the narrative side, because you get sort of a little bit of grounded fantasy vibes, because it's a parallel universe. Obviously, it's 80s 90s style, but it's the future, and I pushed a lot not to have like AI. Like even Kurt, the robot, is very simple. He's programmed to do specific things, and they need to reprogramming to do other things. He's not an AI that learns stuff. Because I think once you start to introduce that sort of thing into science fiction, I get a little bit frustrated with thinking about the ramifications of those things. Like why have a pilot? If you have AI that's really advanced, why have a pilot? Why even have humans in space in the first place?
Why is Tony Stark in the Iron Man suit if the AI does everything? Like, what's the point of him being in there? That's what I always said. I'm like, what? Like, what's the point? He has the AI. He doesn't need to be in the suit anymore. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. He's just there to be a pretty face.
He wants to be.
He wants to be.
He wants to be.
Oliver, what are you most excited about for people to experience in for the story in the Gunk?
The relationship between Ronnie and Vex, and how it develops throughout the game. Definitely.
And Peter, same question for you.
Yeah, I must agree. Yeah, that's it. And the world. I think just running around in the world. Since
it is a very nice color. Well, the areas I saw were really colorful, nice. Like I said, you guys did SteamWorld games, and you guys are very creative in that regard in terms of environments. So,
yeah, just absorbing on the plan, seeing them move, running through the grass, and having it bend, like stuff that I've also been involved, like with the tech art stuff. It's nice just being immersed in it.
And then when does the Gunk come out? What platforms will it be on?
It's Microsoft exclusive, so it's like Xbox, and it's on Microsoft Store for the PC, and it's this Thursday.
The 16th.
Jesus.
The day after tomorrow. Is that possible?
That's a movie. Yep. That's what I say. That's a movie.
Yeah, like the movie. It's exactly like the movie. It's gonna play out the same way.
And then I have two more questions. The other one is just a bonus one is, your games are pretty great Nintendo Switch. The Gunk would probably be equally fun on the Nintendo Switch. Any plans for a Switch port in the future?
Right now, no. It's like it's exclusive Microsoft for now. Just the scale of the production, the way it happened. Yeah, Switch wasn't in the stars for this one.
We do love the Switch, though.
We do love the Switch.
And hey, if SteamWorld and the Gunk can be in the same universe, who knows what the future might hold.
Yeah, Gunk World.
And then my Gunk World. There you go. There's your tag.
Yeah.
Or Steam Gunk or Gunk Steam. So
Big World Gunk.
You guys are really good at doing world building and stuff like this, and this game looks equally impressive on that scale. But have we ever, and this can be for SteamWorld as well as the Gunk, have you guys ever considered like an animated series, a movie tie-in, a Netflix series, anything like that with your IP?
Tell Netflix to call us.
Exactly.
I just think either these brands would be great as an animated television. SteamWorld practically writes itself. I mean,
we agree. We agree.
Yes.
I'll tag Netflix in this clip, and they'll get in touch with you because they always they want to greenlight lots of things.
Saturday morning cartoon, SteamWorld heist. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah.